So the Thunder had a good start, but there was an asterisk. Oh, 10-1, congrats, but look at that schedule. A lot of Dallas, Clippers, Kings, Pelicans. Is OKC that good? Well, then came a back-to-back that was supposed to tell the truth. Golden State one night, then the Luka Lakers next. No rest against veteran star teams to push the young Thunder. Instead, they pushed Golden State and LA off a cliff. They didn't just win, they embarrassed people. JJ Redick stormed out of a press conference after losing by 29. Warriors lost by 24. Draymond just starts calling out his teammates' personal agendas. But ironically, this reminds you of a team Draymond was a part of. The KD Warriors had solved the NBA so bad, half the league just stopped trying. They were like, look, even if we get way better, we're still not going to beat those guys. So what is the point? But here's the kicker. OKC is one of the most banged up teams in the league. These are all regular rotation players missing chunks, including their second best guy, J-Dub, all season. If this were most teams, they would be screwed. But OKC looks like the next great NBA dynasty, and some say the greatest team of all time. But I've had so much fun playing Prize Picks this season. The games are starting to stack up. Especially some of these nights when we have like 6, 7, 8 or more games. It's always nice to get some picks in and watch every single night like it's the playoffs in the regular season. And my favorite part is the app is so easy to use. To make some picks, all you gotta do is pick more or less on a few players' stats. Like tonight, I am going with, first up, I'm gonna go with a combination of Tyrese Maxey and James Harden, less on their assists, and then Quentin Grimes, less on his assists. And Prize Picks is available in 45 states, including California or Texas, where I live. And if it's your first time signing up, nothing helps out the channel more than using code AMHOOPS. When you play $5, that code will get you $50 in lineups instantly, win or lose. That is play 5, get 50, code AMHOOPS. Now, before we get to how they are doing this, the GOAT NBA team, really? Defense is their calling card, and OKC is nothing historically. There's like 40 teams better, but the top 4 there are all from the same year, so obviously era's got a lot to do with that. But what about compared to this year? OKC is number 1 by a mile. You do not see gaps that big. They dominate on both ends so bad. They beat teams by an average of 15.5 points. That would shatter the previous record, 12.9, set by OKC last year. So yeah, they won the title and came back even better. But to be the GOAT team, we all know you have to win at least 73 games, beating the 96 Bulls, and win the title, something the 2016 Warriors could not do. Well, this Thunder team is on pace for 75 wins. My goodness. Now, I don't think they're actually going to get there, because what's the point, right? You hit some random number, 73 wins. Everyone's all excited. Then possibly you run out of gas in the playoffs. No, rest your guys, which Sam Presti is too smart not to do. But speaking of the Thunder GM, he's got a problem. One that you almost never see in the NBA. Teams are only allowed to carry 15 active players, and the Thunder have been losing guys. Like Vic Krejci, they couldn't keep him. So now he's in Atlanta dropping 28 on the Clippers, hitting 8 threes like it's nothing. Trey Mann leaves, puts up double digits a night in Charlotte. Josh Giddey, a man they couldn't find playoff minutes for, just earned $100 million in Chicago. And the craziest part to all of this, if the season ended today, OKC would have 2 top 10 draft picks. What are they gonna do with those kids? What current players are they gonna have to drop to bring those kids in? Now, okay, they're probably not gonna have 2 top 10 picks. Okay, Utah is gonna tank to keep their pick. And the Clippers could make a move, but 1 top 10 pick is not off the table. But that's where this problem actually flips into a long-term superpower. Because in this new second apron era, the best way to keep your dynasty going is simple. Keep the stars, churn the depth, and replace talent for cheap talent before it gets expensive. And the Thunder are built in a lab for that model. SGA, Jalen Williams, and Chet locked in. Everything else around them constantly refreshed for pennies on the dollar. It's like Sam Presti saw into the future to build a 10-year dynasty. Take this kid AJ Mitchell, for example. He was a G League 2-way rookie last year. Starts because of injury now, averaging 17 points, 4 boards, and 4 assists with 2 steals. Where do they find these people? And he's making $3 million a year? This isn't fair. So that's what they are doing to dominate the NBA, but how are they doing it? Well, this is what makes OKC so good. To start, 0 defensive weak links. And by the way, J-Dub, haven't had him all year, probably their best, most versatile defensive player. Now, OKC emphasizes mobility and speed on defense. They're very aggressive in gaps, and they shrink the floor with all 5 guys. It's like they're all playing with one mind on defense. Like here, as Curry turns the corner off the screen to his left, look how literally all 5 OKC defenders shrink down towards the paint. Then when the ball gets kicked out, they have no problem recovering with that speed and mobility to get themselves matched up again. Same concept here. Butler drives down toward the paint. OKC collapses, shrink the floor, and then they can again leverage that speed to recover, force terrible offense. But what takes this team to another level is personnel. And the first guy we have to talk about is Cason Wallace, a guy Nico Harrison traded out of Dallas, by the way. Effectively guarded Ja, Steph, Jimmy, and held Luka to 19 points within like a week. And they bring Alex Caruso off the bench. His minutes have been limited so far, but whenever he's on the court, his impact is felt. Elite skills on and off the ball defense, and like Wallace, he can hold his own very well in isolation against top tier scores. And by the way, this is why a great team can be considered boring, okay? Like, you know the Spurs dynasty? Yeah, they were all about defense too. People called them boring, okay? There's the flashy team, Jordan, Kobe, and Shaq. That stuff is fun. This stuff is just blue collar basketball. So SGA has leveled up too. His impact isn't quite as big as the 2 previous guys there, but he does have great length and foot speed on the ball, plus defender. And along with all that backcourt and wing depth, OKC also has Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein hovering around the basket. Holmgren, one of the best rim protectors in the league. But before we get to their offense, you have to acknowledge Chet and Hartenstein switchability. They defend on the perimeter, which makes finding a weak spot in this defense virtually impossible, which means all of OKC's vulnerabilities stem from their offense. And coming into this year, I thought they had 2 main weaknesses: inconsistent shooting and ball handling. Like very shade dependent last year, dude's usage rate was 33.6, more than Jalen Brunson and Luka Doncic, which is why the finals went to 7 games. The Pacers exploited that, if you remember, wore him down, full court pressure, right? That forced J-Dub to have big games in games 4 and 5, which saved them. So going into this year, because OKC was missing that secondary ball handler with J-Dub being out, I thought it might get off to a bumpy start. But AJ Mitchell, baby, a second-year G League 2-way guy saves the day. So OKC, not a 3-level killer like J-Dub or Shea, but he can take a lot of responsibility as a creator out of pick and roll, and the pace and handle to break down the defense, put pressure on the rim. He's given Shea fresh legs to play with the team in the half court. So when J-Dub does come back, the Thunder are now going to have 3 more than capable ball handlers. Now, the only nitpick I have is their 3-point percentages, still kind of low, bottom 10 in the NBA. But despite that, OKC still has a top 5 offense. So right now, the only team that has a prayer of beating them is the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic, literally playing the best ball of his life, just moved up to first in MVP, by the way. But we would still all pick the Thunder. So no matter how good any team is, feeling good about yourself, you better not play OKC. But one team who actually wants to lose right now is the Mavericks. Now that Nico Harrison is gone, they're not on his timeline. It's all about Cooper Flag. So tank, but more importantly, nail this Anthony Davis trade, because Cooper Flag's future depends on what they get back.